The stock market has risen considerably since late 2016. The Dow broke 20,000 and the S&P has risen as well. Leading up to this moment, there was significant stagnation. As soon as QE3 stopped, the market did too. Now, there has been renewed confidence. What exactly has the stock market been rising on? You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Today we are going to look at the stock market in the US. I also want to look at Greece. I want to look at a few other issues. Let's begin with this. S&P 500 rallied as consensus adjusted EPS was revised down. EPS, the earnings per share, we're looking at that, and approximately since October, we can see that the S&P has been rising considerably, percentage-wise. And then you compare that to the adjusted EPS, and you will see, particularly since about January, it has dropped off a cliff. What's happening exactly? What is the market expecting to happen in the near future? My question, though, here is what has been making it rise in the first place? Is the economy doing well all of a sudden? Has all of that QE made its way into the system yet? Has it created inflation? Has it been able to support the economy? You can't just print it and have no consequences. Where are those consequences? Well, let's look at this first. S&P 500 return has been driven entirely by PE expansion. That's as of February 16, 2017, back from November 8th, okay? So you're looking at this, the EPS level, the expected growth, and the forward PE, and then you get your totals here on the right-hand side. And you can see that, particularly financials, that being Goldman Sachs in particular, information technology, industrials, and it goes on. And this shows you how the PE expansion, which, if it gets to a certain level, is very dangerous. If you turn back the pages in history, look at the dot-com boom, where you saw the PE ratios go to astronomical levels, where you would see some stocks at 100 price-earning ratio. That's not sustainable. That's not realistic. And they were trying to, at that time, were trying to suggest to everyone that you need to accept the new normal, that this is tech stocks, okay? Everything is going to be different now. And then, of course, that was in with the biotech stocks and everything else, that they try to make it seem as if, you know, new sectors or new technologies or new advancements suddenly break the rules. And it could break the rules temporarily, but it always reverts to the mean. Always. This is one of the things that I always look at, and I believe it is very crucial. Which stocks have caused the rise? And you look at this in particular, Goldman Sachs, actually there's a few lines, so I'll bring out the pen here. And you can see that the top one, the blue line, is Goldman Sachs. And then under that line, you have JP Morgan, which has basically been trading along the same lines to less of a degree, though. But they're pretty much trading together. And then at the bottom, you have the Dow Jones and the S&P. So they have risen. You know, this is going back now, let's say since August or September. And you will see that it's a 10% or a 5%, somewhere around that range of an increase. It's done well in that time frame. But when you compare that to Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, you're looking at JP Morgan being a 36% increase, and just off to the side over here is Goldman Sachs at a 50% increase in the time frame. And you will see once again that during that same period of time, as I showed you on the other chart, that October-November time frame, since then, it has risen significantly. All that stagnation, nothing was going on, flatlining, and all of a sudden, it hits a boom. This one stock here, Goldman Sachs, has been responsible for much of the rise. And you look at it, JP Morgan as well, you have to figure which stocks? Is it the market which has risen, or is it particular stocks? I don't like to see particular stocks rising, because if you extract those stocks from the particular sectors, all of a sudden you have a very, very different picture. If you take the top, let's say 3 stocks out of each category, the market takes a big turn. And the reason why this happens, I've said it 100 times before, is that central banks have the incentive programs where they can purchase stocks at a preferred price, preferred rate, not the rate that you and I get, and they buy individual stocks. Yes, they may buy both Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, but let's say they do it 80% Goldman, 20% JP. And that's just an example, but this is a program that has been public. It's been made public that they do this. They buy shares. Central banks buy shares across the world. They buy equities. They buy into different bonds. They buy everything. And they do so with printed dollars. That's fake money rising these stock markets. Yes, there could be real sentiment here. But ultimately, the money that you and I have that we put into the stock market, not that I have any money in the stock market, but the money that the middle class, the average worker would put in to the stock market doesn't move the market. It doesn't move the market. The central banks are what moves the market. They create liquidity. They are the ones that move the market. You and I don't change it. You and I can't change it. If we had $1 billion to move that market, we couldn't do it. It doesn't work like that. All right. And then you look at this 10-year averages of annual growth rates, and it just seems like growth has been stagnating decade after decade. The rise that we have seen, you see it, as I've said, in particular areas. You'll see housing being booming, throughout 2000 and onward. But ultimately, a lot of other sectors were not doing so well. And then you saw the weakening occurring, and it was a panic because, there's nothing else left. Where's the money going to go? And then, a lot of money went towards commodities leading up to 2008, and then everything took a nosedive. And you'll see all the markets now trading all together instead of this asynchronous sort of vibe that was supposed to happen before, so you could have cycles. If equities are going down, then I'd put my money in cash, or maybe I'd put my money in bonds, or I'd look to foreign investments because, this country is still doing well, whereas the country I'm currently invested in is not doing well. Now everything just moves up and down altogether. Why? Because central banks effed it up. Let's move this on. Greece. I love to pay attention to Greece because they are a very good example of what is going to happen all over the world. Selling off their most precious assets, and this is the type of thing that people don't understand. They're saying, look, I want my things to be privatized. I'll vote for that, no problem. And in principle, I completely understand why you would want reduced budgets for the government. But unfortunately, what just happens is you end up paying practically the same price for something, and now you gave that money, that contract, to somebody who's friends with somebody on the inside of the government. That's all that happens. Very good example here in Toronto. They have been contracting all of the government workers, whether that's the garbage pickup or the water departments or anything else. They simply just give that contract to another corporation, which is buddy and friends. And ultimately, the service isn't any better. You're not getting anything else out of it. You still pay the same amount. Taxes haven't been reduced, at least here in this example. I mean, they make up some lies all the time, but it's not. It's getting worse. Taxes keep increasing. Look at this. Greece is in the crisis that never goes away for the European Union, with another tense negotiation with creditors scheduled for this coming week, struggling to recover from the longest downturn in the Eurozone. The budget slashing or austerity policies and reform medicine required by creditors have done little to revive growth. Well, of course. Choking somebody doesn't make the air go back in. It's like if you want to keep the air in the lungs, well, then you should cut off the breathing supply to the individual. That's what's happening. Oh, we want him to swim better. Let's put a ball and chain on his leg and see what happens. Leaving Greece even more dependent on the 3 international bailouts the country has received since 2010. Every bailout means they'll then have to do another bailout. Well, every time they go ahead with this, they take more and more and more from the people. The people keep losing out. The people keep losing out. And you may say, look, they shouldn't have this or they shouldn't have that. They shouldn't be spending on their pensions. They shouldn't be spending on this and that. You have to realize that this isn't why the economy is destroyed. It's because of the CDS, credit default swaps. That is the number one primary reason why Greece is in the situation right now. And then you go further back and you realize that they are on the euro, which is the completely opposite thing that they should be on. I mean, it's too strong for the economy of Greece. And it's okay to have a weak currency. That just means that you'll be better for exports. It'll be great for exports if they were on the drachma, if they never went to the euro in the first place. All of a sudden, you would have economies being able to boom. Some sectors being able to boom. I understand it. I get that. And I think it's great. Sure, there would be short-term fiasco that would occur if they were to go off the euro. I'm saying they should have never have been on it in the first place. It's okay not to be on the euro. That's what people don't understand. You're leaving Europe. Don't leave Europe. Yes, the land mass is just going to separate and fly off into another part of the world. No. It's not like that. Don't worry about it. The Brexit, they're not leaving Europe. They're not going to fly away. I assure you. Okay. This was interesting here. Greece's black market. So now individuals have to go to the black market. That's simply the way that this is happening now. Greece has been going to off the books. Greece's black market is estimated at 20 to 25% of the GDP. 20 to 25%, simply because more people have stopped reporting their income to avoid paying taxes that by some estimates have risen to 70% of an individual's gross income. 70% taxation. Where are you going to get any growth when you tax people at these rates? This is stupid, this is dangerous, and it is ruining the country of Greece permanently. If you want to destroy Greece, apply taxation of 70%. If you want to destroy Greece, have the IMF dictate the policies and procedures for what will happen. And if you want to destroy Greece, simply keep doing what you are doing. Moving on. Fukushima, you may have heard of it. Oh yeah, it's that thing that's polluting the whole world. That's right. Another robot has died in the depths of one of Fukushima's nuclear reactors as attempts to locate and remove melted radioactive fuel continue. The second robot in 2 weeks to die. These robots are designed to go into these radioactive areas and do their measurements and collect samples, whatever it is they're doing. But they keep dying. What happens then when individuals go in? Well, just recently, they are suing, an individual worker is suing because he has cancer now. And everybody's going to find out in this area that there has been a widespread case of cancer. Should that surprise anybody? Obviously not. This thing is spilling out into the world. But you know what? Maybe that wasn't. I shouldn't say that. Because everything's fine. TEPCO did this report, and this is actually from the IAEA.org website. Okay, we're looking at official stats. I always show you the actual document. You'll hear people in the alternative news or the mainstream media, even they're just as bad. They never show you actual documents. They talk about TEPCO said this and Goldman Sachs said that, but where is it? Show me. Well, that's what I try to do. Anyway, TEPCO said, this is funny. It's not funny, but it's ridiculous. I guess is more of the word. TEPCO publishes the results of the analysis conducted on the seawater sample during the discharge operation at the nearest seawater sampling post. The results show that the radiation levels of seawater remain lower, I said lower, than the density limit specified by the reactor regulation, and significant change in the radioactivity has not been observed. You can just go and boldly lie like this and get away with it. That's when you know that the media is entirely complicit with all of these governments, with all of the big corporations. Every single time. I mean, look at IG Farben. What happened during World War II? Their facilities, perfect condition. Perfect condition. Nothing went wrong with them. The whole place is bombed out. IG Farben, totally fine. Then it's, because of the conditions during World War II, they said, you know what, you got to split up. Now it's Bayer, and it's one of the biggest companies in the world. So, there might be a little bit of collusion within the government. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but maybe there is. And then you have this, last but not least, scientists have discovered how to find your bad memories and delete them from your mind for good. Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling lonely? Don't worry about it. They're going to stick something in your brain and they're going to take that feeling out. This is the Brave New World 2.0. No longer do you have to take your Prozac and Xanax and Zoloft and whatever they're called. You just need to be hooked up to these computers, hooked up to this whatever the heck they're going to do, and they're going to extract those quote-unquote bad memories. Maybe this is good. Maybe it's beneficial for some people. But this will be used in order to destroy some people in some way. What is this technology? How are they going to apply it? How are they going to use it? Will they use it on people against their will? That's the difference. If somebody signs up for it, if somebody says, sure, I want to take part in this, I got some problems, I want to deal with them, and this is the method I want to choose to do so, that's fine. That's liberty. But you can't go ahead and say this person is crazy or that or this, and we need to apply some sort of technology on this person to do this to them. I don't believe that this is right. I understand the good and the bad and everything else. This type of thing, it scares me. It gives me a little bit of a Brave New World sort of vibe happening. If you found this video informative, please give me a thumbs up. I wanted to say thank you to each and every single one of you, because this channel, one guy, no production team, no technological anything on here. I got a little pen and basically that's it. This is my best piece of technology, my circling device. 40,000 subscribers. Started in 2011 because I was pissed off at what I saw in the news. I decided to make a YouTube video about it. A couple hundred people decided to watch it. I was grateful. And then I just kept making YouTube videos, finished my book up, and now I've been sharing the message with people all over the world. This is a channel based around liberty. That's all it is. There are many others out there who do better work than me, who are smarter than me. But what I have is the dedication. I try to make a video every single day to bring the information that I'm learning out to the public. And I hope that you do appreciate it. I hope that you will take the information and then go out there and then do more research, make better videos, research on your own for your own good. Take what I've said and expand upon it. I know there are so many more people out there who are more knowledgeable, more intelligent in everything, and I just commend all of you to do what you have to do for your own good, for your own self, your family, and everyone else. Last but not least, if you found the video informative, I know you will find my book, The Money GPS, even more informative. So head over to Amazon because they have a look inside feature that will allow you to flip through the pages of the book and see if you like it. Take care. If you're still here at the end of this extremely long video, I just wanted to say that unofficially my book is out. That is the new book, Global Economic Collapse. I haven't put any links in or anything else because I'm waiting for a second proof copy to hit my doorstep where I'm just going to flip through it quickly and just make sure that they didn't screw it up. The initial proof copy I went through, I made a few changes and then reordered another proof copy However, the book is up there. It's on for sale. If you've lasted this long into the video, you're probably a fan of my work. It's there. Global Economic Collapse. Once again, the actual links and everything will be up soon. If you want to hang on, you can do so. If you want to get really set on it, you can actually order it now. I just wanted to make sure, just 100% sure, that they didn't mess up the binding or anything like that before I actually make it official. Thank you.